Our worst fears confirmed. Of 166 family violence workers surveyed, 59% say the pandemic has increased the frequency of violence against women. Half say the violence is more severe, and 42% reported a rise in the number of first-time family violence reports.
This is terrifying, as it shows that during the period of the Covid-19 restrictions, for many Australian women and children, they've been confined to homes that are abusive.
And Covid-19 has armed abusers with cruel new ways to control and torture.
Abusers who have been making their partners wash their hands to the point of bleeding, who have been using the restrictions to further isolate their partners, and that may be in terms of spreading rumours that their partner has COVID.
Family violence workers have come up with stealthy ways to offer support, using code words and encrypted video calls to reach at-risk women. But too many are on their own.
A lot of victims feel like their partner knows everything that they're doing, and that's made even worse when their partner actually is around all the time. So to seek help in those situations can feel incredibly dangerous.
And while today's research offers a small glimpse into what's going on behind closed doors, it's what we don't know that's most worrying of all.
I think we'll see that there's been a backlog of people who haven't felt comfortable enough to make the call to a service or to police.
We'll start to see the rates of violence against women reporting increasing and women seeking help in greater numbers.
Hayley Foster is the CEO of Women's Safety New South Wales, which supports close to 50,000 women in that state. She joins us now. Hayley, we heard in that story there some of the unique problems that this pandemic has thrown up and some of those techniques that have been used. Can you, from your own experience, add any stories that you've personally seen?
Yeah, sure. Look, some of the concerning examples we've seen is where there's been threats on children, to expose them to the virus. Or in the case of separated families, there's no longer childcare centres where you hand over the children safely in those centres. They're no longer open. And so you're seeing the handing over of children in, areas that are very, depopulated or in people's homes. And we're seeing violent incidents in people's homes escalate because of that.
Hayley, I've just thought so many times during this pandemic about women in these situations, women who their only respite in the day was moments where their partner left the house. It's hard to imagine just how suffocating these last few months would be for many women.
Yeah, and look, we're seeing these cases come through. It's absolutely devastating and heart-wrenching hearing the stories of women just tiptoeing day and night, walking over eggshells. And, we saw that with the 1-800 Respect, the activity that they saw, women waiting until, 12, 1, 2 in the morning to reach out for support, and very quietly through web chat. It's been, it's devastating to hear some of these stories and the lengths that women have been going to protect themselves and their children during lockdown. We have never seen anything like it.
So, Hayley, let's go to the practical. What can actually be done at, say, a national level to help families who find themselves in this situation right now?
So the key things that we really need to see if we want to drive down rates of domestic and family violence in this country is we need to see a really strong civil and criminal justice system so it acts as an effective bottom line. We also need to see a family law system that puts safety first over parental right of access. And lastly, we need a support system, not just for victims of domestic and family violence, but those using violence in their relationships. We need to make sure that support system is accessible to all and also that is adequately resourced. Something that we've never actually truly done in this country.
And Hayley, what can individuals do if they suspect or know that a friend or loved one is in danger?
Yeah, look, there's a lot you can do, but the main thing that you need to do is to maintain connection with your loved ones. And that's not just the victim of abuse, that's also people that you're concerned about using violence and control in their relationships. Maintain that connection. Try to withhold judgment. Make sure that you let them know where the support services are. That's a fantastic thing you can do to help. But know that they are the experts of their own situation and let them know that you're there to support them if and when they're willing to reach out for that support, because they themselves will know when it's safe to do so.
So, Hayley, as someone who works on this, this is your job, this is your area of expertise, how long do you think, how many years do you think you will still be talking about the pandemic?
I think this is a historical time, and I think that we'll always come back to talking about this time. I think we've learnt a lot, we'll continue to learn a lot, and we can only learn what needs to be done if we listen to the survivors' stories. And I'm afraid to say what COVID has thrown up in terms of the social isolation measures and literally being forced to stay home with an abuser, there's going to be a lot of stories, a lot of horrendous stories for a long time to come.
Hayley, great to get your expertise tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Walid. Thanks, team.
Feels like the story we all knew was coming, but it still lands with a thud when it gets here. For National 24-hour counselling helpline and support, call 1-800-RESPECT, of course, that number 1-800-737-732.
Right, we've got to take a break. We'll see you on the other side.